Very inspiring movie. You must have seen it. And there was a very beautiful message in that movie that if you want to reach at the top, the most important thing which you need is the motivation. It doesn't matter how resourceful you are, how intelligent you are, and how hardworking you are. But if you do not have a proper motivation, you will not achieve that goal. And keeping that spirit in mind, we designed this special session on the theme Horti Entrepreneurship Success Stories, with the goal to inspire our young audiences and to show them that nothing is impossible. One notable name that comes immediately in my mind when we're talking about the success story is Dhanuka Agritech Limited. And we are honored to have Mr. Kamal Kumar, advisor Dhanuka Agritech, with us as the chair of the session. क्या मेरा भी नहीं है, मैं तो बोला नहीं तो ये कंट्रीब्यूशन ये तो बाद में आएगा और ये बता दो Shri Kamal Kumarji is presently working as an advisor Dhanuka Agritech Limited and also associated with AHSR as a member area advisory board. He is life member of National HRD Network and is recipient of Game Changer Award from HR Club Mumbai. He has over 50 years of experience in agrochemicals in crop protection industry. He joined Dhanuka Agritech Limited in 1996 and worked as senior general manager and looked after recruitment and training for the company till December 2018. From January 2019 till date, he is continuing with Dhanuka Agritech as advisor. He is also a guest faculty to some of the B schools in agriculture. Sir, I welcome you again to this session, and I invite you, please give introductory remarks.
Thank you, Abhishek, for my introduction, which was a little lengthy. I deserve or I don't, this is all up to you. I'm thankful to Amity for organizing this important event covering horticulture, research and advances in horticulture. I'm thankful to the organizing committee. First and foremost is the founder president of this institute, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, and Dr. Nutan Kaushik, who is just sitting in front of me, for her valuable contribution in research. Research, which is an ongoing process, and especially in horticulture, where in 1950, just to share small statistics with you, it was 25 million tons in India, only in 1950, wherein food grain production was 50 million tons. In 2022-23, the horticulture production has gone, fruit and horticulture production, fruit and vegetables, to 351 million tons, from 25 million tons to 351 million tons. And food grain from 50 to 329 million tons. That is the achievement, and that is all because of the basic research which was inculcated into the science which was there, put to the farmers to make it practice for proper scientific cultivation. That is how it has gone. Thankful to the present government of India, who has given an honor posthumous to Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, the father of Indian agriculture, and the one who has brought in green revolution to our country. Still, when we are talking about, there is a great hidden potential available in our country for fruit and vegetables. Great hidden potential in our country still, unexplored, untapped. And to just share a few, we are the largest producer of mango in the world. Number one, even though second in fruit and vegetables, next to China, but largest in mango, largest in banana. largest in banana. But when we talk of exports of banana, we are nowhere in front of Ecuador. A small country, very, very small country, Ecuador. So we have reached a mere just 50 billion of exports, even though a phenomenal growth of 23% during pandemic in export of our agriculture and including horticulture, but the potential is to reach 100 billion. We are very small when it comes to export. And there are many challenges such as Xanthomonas campestris is still a challenge in citrus, where we are trying to find possible solutions. There are many. We have made a very big headway in grapes, especially in the varieties of Anabishahi, Thamset seedless, and then Bangalore Blue. We have made a very big headway in pomegranate. Some of the states have made phenomenal growth. But when it comes to entrepreneur and innovation, I think the present just session that we are there in, it is going to talk about entrepreneur and innovation. And Amity has strong belief in innovation. As and when I have heard Dr. Chauhan saying, he is been emphasizing mainly on innovation, and so important. One example which I would like to share with you, a few years back, just 11, 12 years back in Nashik, tomato and both grapes were finding it very difficult for survival. Some of the farmers were finding it difficult because they had problems. One powdery, downy mildew was a very big problem in grapes at that time. And even tomato also, the remunerative price were not being given to the farmers. And farmers were struggling. One gentleman rose, he formed a farmer producing organization, FPO, in Nashik district. The name of that farmer is Mr. Vilas Shinde. He started Shiadri Farms. Today, they are doing a business of more than 500 crores. And so much so that such a big giant, Hindustan Unilever, making of Kisan ketchup, was forced, not physically forced, but forced because of the infrastructure that they have developed, because of the innovation that they have brought in Nashik district to set up their manufacturing plant of Kisan ketchup in Nashik. So this is the result of entrepreneurship. We will hear a lot about entrepreneurship from the speakers. They will be coming, who are invited. I've gone through some of them, the profile of those, and the amount of work that they are doing. And from a professional, they have gone in for private entrepreneurship and successful model of entrepreneurship. We have number of such models, 10,000 farming producing organizations announced by our finance minister in the last budget. Over and above the startups, I think the maximum number of startups in the world is in the field of agriculture in the last 2-3 years. And out of which India also can boast of having many startups that is coming up despite pandemic, when most of the industry have gone in for negative growth. Agriculture is the only sector which rose by 3.7% as growth. I think you are all very fortunate. I must say, you all here are very fortunate that you have chosen a profession of agriculture. Agriculture is future. Agriculture is future of our country. And some very rightly said, it is the backbone of our economy. And India knows only one culture. Which is that culture? Our former first Prime Minister said, India only knows one culture, and that is agriculture. That was said by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, our first Prime Minister. I think let us start with a very optimistic note and be very passionate about listening. All the speakers who will be coming, 3 of them, I have read the profile as well as the work that they are going to carry on. They are carrying on in horticulture. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Our first speaker is Professor Naveen Kumar Arora, and he is Fellow of International Society of Environment Botanist, PhD in Microbiology, is currently the Dean of School of Earth and Environmental Science and Dean of School of Engineering and Technology, Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University, Lucknow. Professor Arora is a renowned researcher in the field of environmental microbiology and biotechnology. He has more than 100 research articles published, a premier international journal. He is editor of 35 books published by Springer Nature, and is the serious editor of book series Microorganism for Sustainability, published by Springer Nature. He is the editor-in-chief of the Scopus Index Journal Environmental Sustainability. He has delivered lectures in conferences and seminars around the globe. He has been advisor to 121 postgraduate and 13 doctoral students. He has also received the awards for excellence in research by the Horticulture Governor of Uttar Pradesh, India, Asian PGR Society. Samagra Vikas, Welfare Society and Research and Academic Excellence Award in the discipline of Life Sciences by Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University. He is the president of the Society for Conservation of Wildlife, and he is also secretary of the Society for Environmental Sustainability. Please welcome Professor Naveen Kumar Arora. Dr. Gonzalez from Spain. I'll request Abhishek ji to read out his profile.
Dr. Gonzalez Coloma is a senior scientific researcher in the Institute of Agriculture Sciences of the CSIC in Spain. Her line of research focuses on the biotechnological production of botanical and fungal biopesticides. She develops research from bioprospection, production, and optimization of biopesticide from the flora of various regions of Spain and other parts of the world, as well as agriculture residues. The group of biopesticides that she leads is a multidisciplinary. It screens and identifies metabolites with insecticidal, antifungal, and nematicidal effects. She also explores mechanism of action and structure-activity relationships, field evaluation of developed products. She has published more than 180 scientific articles in index journals, elaborated patents, 9, and has directed 14 doctoral theses among other contributions. She has led numerous national and international research projects. Ma'am, I welcome you to this session.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me correctly? I hope. I'm going to share my screen right now and show you the presentation. Okay. Okay. This is the title of my talk today is New Nematicidal Agents from Fungal Endophytes. I work for the Spanish Research Council, which is the largest research organization in my country, in Spain, with many institutes, a total of 120 research institutes covering all kinds of scientific disciplines. We are located in Madrid in the Agrarian Sciences Institute, and we work closely to another institute located in the Canary Islands, the Natural Products Institute. We all belong to the same research organization. Our group is called the Biopesticides Group, and we cover the selective screening of raw materials, including plants, residues, and endophytes. We identify the new products that are active against pests and diseases of plants. We try to optimize those extracts and the compounds that are active through synergistic mixtures, fungal biotransformation, fermentation of the fungi, co-culture, and so on. We are also focusing on the sustainability of the process through biotechnological production, conventional production of plants in the field, and the fermentation of the endophytes. So the approach is that we use all the metabolites from the plant, which are protecting the plant and against insects, diseases, fungi, and nematodes. All those chemicals are produced by the plant and also from the endophytes that live within the plant. Our scientific objectives are the new biopesticides, the characterization, optimization of something is going on. Okay. And we are within the framework of the United Nations Development Goals, mostly the number 12. The biopesticide market is growing in the world, but in Europe it's a very important growth, mostly because of the European Green Deal and the regulations, which are now a big controversy because of the demonstrations from the agriculture producers who are largely against part of the Green Deal, and we are having a very big controversy about this at this moment. Right now in Spain, we have big demonstrations. People is being manipulated against the European Green Deal, and we will keep talking about this for a long time, I'm afraid. But so far, we have to comply with the regulations, and therefore the biopesticides market, which is imposing the IPM, integrated pest management, needs to have new means of pest control. In our prospection of sources, we start like a funnel-shaped project, and we start with the screening and sourcing. For the sourcing, I'm going to talk today about endophytes. These endophytes we started studying in the Macaronesian area, which is the Canary Islands, which is an archipelago next to the African coast, the western coast of Africa, but they belong to Spain, and therefore they're part of the European community with a high level of biodiversity. This biodiversity is shaped by the geography and location of the islands, which have a very high gradient of altitude and also a north-south range of humidity. The northern side has a very high humidity because of the north trade winds, and the south has very low humidity, and therefore it has shaped many different plant communities, from the cloud layer forest, which is like a relict forest from the tertiary area, to the more succulent and arid African type of flora in the south. Also the high altitude subalpine scrub. So therefore, with all these different plant communities, we have a great deal of biodiversity to work with in a very small area. It's very interesting. It's what is called a biodiversity hotspot. We started working for a long time ago in the laurel forest, which is this relict forest maintained by the humidity from the trade winds. This forest is dominated by lauraceae species, and one of the lauraceae species, which is Persea indica, which is like an ancient grandparent of the avocado tree, the Persea americana. Persea indica was very interesting because different situations found in the forest, and one of them was an interaction with rats and poisoning animals, and therefore, a long time ago, we started a chemical ecology work that led us to isolate a group of compounds, very interesting compounds, ryanodines, which are very insecticidal. This is and they are related to ryanodine, which is already a botanical pesticide from another different plant family, completely different. This led us to think that this plant, we know this plant is very interesting from a chemical ecology point of view. Therefore, we use the plant as the source of endophytes, looking for endophytes that could produce any of those compounds or some interesting compounds from this plant. We isolated endophytes from Persea indica. Okay, the isolation. The endophytes were very interesting. Okay, we isolated a large collection of endophytes from this tree, Persea indica, and we also studied the distribution, spatial distribution of these endophytes from different parts and times of the year. Therefore, we proceeded with the biological valorization of these endophytes. We did something is really weird. Anyway, we did the extract valorization and selection, the bioassay with fungal phytopathogens, phytoparasitic nematodes, and insect pests. And we found out that Gygnardia mangiferae, for example, which is not Gygnardia mangiferae anymore, I'll tell you about that later, among many of these different fungi were active against the different targets. And we selected this one because it was active against all the targets that we took. And we proceeded with the bio-guided chemical study. Doing a much larger fermentation, we got a very nice extract. We chromatographed the extract and isolated the pure compounds for identification. We proceeded with the identification through the regular, preparative HPLC, column chromatography, TLC, and then the spectroscopic determination of the structures with NMR and high resolution mass spectra. With these techniques, and this is the result of the bio-guided chemical study of these fungi. We isolated a series of compounds, but only the active compounds were the ones we were interested. These are the active compounds, which are the derivatives of gygnardic acid and derivatives. Active on insects, we found gygnardic acid and methylgygnardic 1 and 2. And active on nematodes, we found methylgygnardic, compound number 2, gygnardione G3, and methoxypengygnardic, compound 4. So we had now identified the active ingredients of the extract. The next step was to determine the in vitro nematicidal effects, and we found that these compounds had very low active efficient concentrations or lethal concentrations when we tested in vitro against Melidogene javanica. Okay, Melidogene javanica is a very important root knot nematode producing root galls in many crop plants. We also tested this extract once we knew the compounds and the compounds 4, 5, 7 and control. We tested on the egg hatching activity, and we also discovered that these compounds were able to inhibit the nematode egg hatching very efficiently at 14 days. And at the end of the experiment, there was very low egg hatching activity. We also tested the extract characterized by chromatography. We knew the composition of this extract from the fungus, and we tested in vivo on nematicides, this nematode on tomato. And then we checked the root infested with J2 by staining the roots. And there was a protection with the compound over 65%, and with the most active product, over 80% of the reduction of the nematode infestation of the roots, which is really amazing. Also, we did the whole population's development of the nematode population in tomatoes for 2 months, which is a long-term experiment, in vivo experiment with the extract. And what we found is the reproduction rate of the Melidogene javanica was really, really extremely reduced, and it was concentration dependent. So the conclusion is that this fungal endophyte from Persea indica has nematicidal compounds, Grignardionidae, methoxypengernardic, and methylgignardic, active on insects, also some of these compounds. And now we have decided that we need a complete genetic study of this compound, of these fungi. This fungi now it has been, we have studied the whole genome. We have now we are assembling the genes and see the genes for the production of these compounds. For the optimization, we have worked on the last year. We have been working on the optimization of this production. We first did some changes in carbon-nitrogen ratios, and we found that this was also very important for the production of the active compound. But now what we have done is use microparticle enhanced cultivation with talcum powder and bentonite and filamentous fungal biofilms through metallic mesh and glass wool added to the media. And we checked the production of the compounds. A was with filamentous fungal with glass wool, B was a metallic mesh, C is bentonite, and D is talcum powder. And the medium is sapic duck cheese liquid medium modified with amino acids, which was the same media. When we checked, we saw that the bentonite increased the activity on day 6 and 21, okay, for the antefidant bioassays on Rhopalociphyllum paddy, which is an insect. But when we checked at the nematicidal action, we found out that glass wool activity was increased from day 6 to 21. When we check on the active compounds, here is the production of the Grignardic, methylgignardic, Grignardion, and methoxypengernardic. We see that there are very important increases in production on the different days, which are summarized here. Grignardic acid increased 0.77 times, almost 1 time more than versus control, and 9 days earlier in the presence of talcum powder. Methylgignardic increased 1.8, almost 2 times versus control 9 days earlier in glass wool. Grignardion D increased a little bit, only 0.43 times at the same time, nothing interesting. And methoxypengernardic 1 time increased, same time, not shorter time. So the most important effect we have seen is with glass wool incorporated into the growth media, which is just a physical aspect. The fungi need some physical stimulus to grow the mycelium in a way that allows the fungi to produce faster and more compounds that we are interested in obtaining. This is, for now, this is what we have achieved until now, and we are now looking at the genes and looking how we can find out which genes are responsible for the production of these compounds and how we can maybe do some genetic manipulation if that is wise, something we can do, because sometimes manipulating organisms is not a very good idea anyway to use them in agriculture, at least in Europe. I want to thank the group which is here in the group in Madrid, the group in the Canary Islands. And I want to mention Nicolas Reyes and William Useche, who are both responsible of the last part of the work related to the optimization of the production of the compounds, which is opening really new interesting ways to increase the production of active compounds. And I want to also thank the funding from the Spanish government, Ministerio de Ciencia e Innovación, and universities. Thank you very much. And please let me know if there are any questions.
Thank you, Azu. Thank you so much for your presentation. So over to you, Chairperson, sir. You can take up some questions, sir. You can, if anybody has some question.
If anybody has a question, I think we'll be more than happy. Because that shows your participation and your concentration on the subject.
So student, please ask the question. At least those who are going to join her lab on this Saturday, they should ask the question. So Azu Sena is going to have 3 of our students in her lab for 1 month. So thank you, Azu, for accepting that. So
No, my pleasure.
thank you. Okay. Okay then. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Azu. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Presentation. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And now the Professor Naveen Kumar Arora is online now. He's a fellow of International Society of Environmental Botanists and currently a dean at School of Earth and Environmental Science and dean at School of Engineering and Technology, Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University. Professor Arora is a renowned researcher in the field of environmental microbiology and biotechnology. He has more than 100 research articles published in premium journals. He is the editor of 35 books published by Springer Nature and is the series editor of book Microorganisms for Sustainability. He is the editor-in-chief of the Scopus Index journal, Environmental Sustainability. He has been advisor to 121 postgraduate and 13 doctoral students. He has also received awards for excellence in research by the Honorable Governor of Uttar Pradesh, Asian PGPR Society, and Research and Academic Excellence Award in the discipline of Life Sciences by Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University. He is the president of Society for Conservation of Wildlife and is also secretary of Society of Environmental Sustainability. Sir, I welcome you again to the session, and the dais is all yours, sir. Please.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Abhishek. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So at the outset, I would like to thank the organizers, especially Professor Nutan and Dr. Abhishek for inviting me to deliver this talk. So I think I have 20 minutes.
Yes, you have 20 minutes, but we'll be more than happy in case if you wrap up in and save 5 minutes. That means 15 minutes.
That is a difficult task to do. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it is visible. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I will discuss about a success story from lab to land, how by using microbial technology, we have been able to remediate saline agroecosystems in Uttar Pradesh. So I will skip some of the slides because the chair has asked me to wrap up in 15 minutes. So I will not talk about the introduction part. I will try to skip and move very fast. As we all know, the human population is still increasing, and soil salinity is one of the major issues which can impact, which is already impacting, and it can further impact in future the food security. If we talk about the food security, the situation you can see on this slide that the situation of food, global food security, how it looks like still around 25% of the population is suffering from food insecurity in the world. If we talk about Asia, it is the same situation, is almost the same like the global situation. But in Africa, if you see, it is around 80 to 85% people are suffering from food insecurity. But on the other side, in Europe and in uh, Europe and America, it is only 7%, while in Latin America, it is almost 50%. So this is the situation. It is again like an unequal world. If we talk about food security, right, this slide is stopped to move, yes. So there are several challenges to food security, and one of them is increasing soil salinity. And in the changing climatic scenario, you know, we have to look into the two most important sectors which impact the climate change, and then climate change impacts the agriculture also. So energy sector and agriculture, if we talk about, if we combine both of them, 92% of the CO2 emissions come from these two sectors, the energy sector and the agriculture. So we need to look into agriculture. On the one hand, our agroecosystems are impacted by the use of agrochemicals and by the climate change and by the land degradation. And on the other hand, agricultural practices are leading to CO2 emissions. And as I am saying it again, 92 to 93% of CO2 emission comes from energy and agriculture sector. So we need to look into this situation and simultaneously improve the food production for the increasing human population. As I was saying a couple of minutes back, that we are still facing 25% of global population is facing food insecurity, and the human population is still increasing. So we need to look into this and increase the production, the agriculture production, through limited resources, and then to reduce the CO2 emission. We need to move towards some sustainable methods like bioagriculture. I will not go in detail. What is bioagriculture? What are its benefits? So many benefits. And the silver lining is that the production of biofertilizers is increasing by an compound annual growth rate of almost 12%. And the production of biopesticides is increasing by about 15% compound annual growth rate. This is the global data. So if we talk about bioremediation, it is also increasing by 8.5% compound annual growth rate. United Nations has already declared this decade as decade of restoration. So bioremediation needs to improve further. So success story that we in next 10 minutes is about how we moved from lab to land and remediated completely degraded agroecosystems which are affected by salinity, and there was almost zero productivity. So as I was saying, soil salinity is an increasing problem. It is increasing worldwide. So at present, around 7% of the Earth's land area is suffering from soil salinity, and it is increasing by the day. So, and it is one of the important reasons which impacts food security. See the map, global map of land degradation, and in India also, I know about these Kanpur, Lucknow, Unnao, Central Uttar Pradesh districts which suffer from soil salinity. This is the global scenario. I will skip these slides of data, and this is the Indian state-wise scenario of soil salinity. So you can see that almost every state has this problem now, except for, say, Northeast or the extreme North. Every state has the problem, including Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, of soil salinity. So it is increasing by the day. We worked in very saline ecosystems, agroecosystems, which have EC of 8 to 16. In fact, where we worked in last few years, it was having an EC of around more than 10. So we selected some important PGPR, plant growth promoting rhizobacteria, from these very saline ecosystems, including pseudomonads and rhizobium also. I will not discuss about rhizobium because I have only 15 minutes with me, so I will only discuss about pseudomonads and bacilli. We know how these PGPR play the important role as direct and indirect PGPRs, means they help the plants by various methods, and they also help the plants by say by mitigating the abiotic stresses like drought, salinity, temperature, high temperature or very low temperature. So PGPRs are now known to mitigate the abiotic stresses as well. And you see, we can use them for bioremediation, for bioaccumulation. I'm talking about PGPRs, biodegradation, stress management, and to combat climate change. These are the pictures of the fields where we worked with farmers, almost zero productivity. And these farmers migrated from their villages, several of them, because this is showing almost zero productivity. So farmers do not do agriculture any. Several of these farmers stopped doing agriculture and they migrated to cities as laborers. So we interacted with them, had meeting with them. We prepared bioformulations using these selected strains, microbial strains, which we isolated from these very regions. And I know I would like to add one thing. 80% of the legume crops were devoid of nodulation in these regions. So I'm talking about central Uttar Pradesh. We work in Kanpur, Kanpur Dehat, Unnao, Lucknow. We have adopted several villages in these very areas. And 80%, we did one mapping, and this work is published in one international journal. We did this mapping, which showed that 80% of these legume crops which were grown in these areas were not showing nodulation. So you can see it is just an indicator that we are losing the microbial diversity, maybe due to salinity, maybe due to the land degradation, maybe due to the use of agrochemicals. So we regularly meet with these farmers and we selected some important strains after a lot of research, largely pseudomonads, bacillus, and rhizobium, and even some fungi like trichoderma. So I will quickly run through these slides. These strains were selected like Pseudomonas fluorescens, EK1. All these strains are submitted in the culture collection centers in India. And we developed bioformulations using these diverse strains, Pseudomonas fluorescens, Pseudomonas entomophila, Pseudomonas putida, Pseudomonas taiwanensis. And you see the crop, situation of crop, it is a double hazard. You see double attack. One is the abiotic stress and other is the biotic stress. We also encounter the infection of fungal phytopathogens like Macrophomina phaseolina in these very fields, salt tolerant fungal phytopathogen. And we did experiments, and then after after a lot of work in the lab, selection of metabolites, selection of good strains, and the metabolites produced by them, you see, these are the some of the experiments which you can see in this slide. We checked, we selected the potent strains which not only worked against the phytopathogen, were working at a very high salinity. They could inhibit the phytopathogen. They showed the other extra different properties which help the plant, even nitrogen fixation, phosphate solubilization activities, and other activities which mitigate, which help the plant under the salinity stress. So we also purified these metabolites, developed bioformulations. I will not go in detail about the metabolites and bioformulations, how we developed them. We use these bioformulations which involve not only the bacterial cells, but also the metabolites like pyocyanin or EPS, exopolysaccharides, metabolites like these to develop these novel bioformulations which were used in farmers' field over the years. So we did experiments with diverse crops, including chickpea. You see, when we use them in the field, the productivity increased by more than double, and the yields increased. The stress came down on the plant, the soil parameters improved, and we also checked on diverse crops, including sunflower also, because these farmers also grow sunflower, they grow chickpea, they grow wheat, they grow paddy. And sunflower, you see the experiment here, the field experiment. All this we did in the experiment. These experiments we did in the farmer's field. And nowadays, we have adopted these villages, and it is not about the experiment. Now we are remediating the soil, and in several villages we have remediated after getting a good amount of fund from Department of Science and Technology, DST, New Delhi. We have been able to remediate around 70 acres of barren saline soil. And this experiment was one of the initial experiments on sunflower. You see nothing growing around, but when we added this bioformulation, this of PF23 strain, it was showing very good results. This is one of the initial experiments. So all this work is published in various journals, and you see on wheat, this is control without any addition of any bioformulation. This is again in farmer's field in Kanpur Dehat with EC of around 10, but when we use our bioformulation of these bacterial strains, including these pseudomonads and bacillus, you see the results. Then the productivity had increased by more than double. So we did experiment on paddy, we did experiment on mustard, we did experiment on wheat. And you see, this is the drone picture of the field, farmer's field, where we did experiments. On the left, you can see the complete remediation, and on the right, where still the farmers have not joined our project, still the situation is same. It is same barren field with zero productivity. So farmers are now joining with us. Initially, they were reluctant, only a very few joined, but now several, more than 300 families have joined with us in this project. So this was about wheat, where the production has again, you see, more than doubled. This is another project on wheat and paddy, which is funded by BIRAC, where we developed the bioformulation. So now I will skip these slides. I think I have not enough time to discuss about rhizobium. The situation of rhizobium, we isolated some novel strains from these very fields, rhizobial strains. So I will skip. We selected some salt-tolerant rhizobial strains, developed bioformulations and EPS-based exopolysaccharide based. This is a novel technique which we developed during this study on ICRAHoR, testing on ICRAHoR production by the bacterial strains. But I will discuss it on some other time. And exopolysaccharide purification, identification of exopolysaccharide. We checked rhizobium not only on legumes, but also on non-legumes like lettuce, which is a very important crop for the farmer, sometimes the cash crop. So it was showing wonderfully good results. It is no point of using chemicals in these fields because they will further deteriorate the situation. So it is better to go for bio farming rather than use chemicals in these very fields I'm showing you a picture about. See, the biochemical features, the physicochemical features of the soil, the pH, which was more than around 10, has come down to around 7. EC has decreased from more than 10 to less than 4. Similarly, organic content has improved significantly. Water holding capacity, moisture content have all improved. The soil microbial biomass has improved drastically. And these are the products which we developed during these while working using these microbes. We distribute them to the farmers and without any cost through this project, DST funded project. And now we have also signed MOU with one of the company known as Siri Bioaesthetics in Hyderabad, which are going to produce our product through their industry and market it. So we give training to the farmers not only in Uttar Pradesh but also in other states, including Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. And we give training to the farmers to use these bioinoculants in BBAU. Also in our university, we invite them every few months. We invite a batch of around 50 farmers in our university to give them training. So these fields have been completely transformed now in 3 years. and from completely barren, their soil has become brown. As I told you, the organic content has improved, microbial biomass has improved, EC has come down, pH has come down, microbial diversity, metagenomic study I am not showing here. Again, it has changed completely. So from white to brown soil with high productivity. Now the farmers are returning back, resulting in reverse migration as well from cities back to their villages, using their land to produce even salt sensitive crops. So this was the outcome of this project, and I thank DST and DBT for the funding. This is the journal Abhishek was talking about, environmental sustainability, which is now indexed in Web of Science as well, Clarivate, and I hope to, it is just a 5-year-old journal, and we hope that it will get impact factor this year. This is my team who regularly accompany me to the villages in these 3 states working. We are working largely in Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and Himachal Pradesh. So thank you once again to the organizers for inviting me.
Thank you, Dr. Arora. It was wonderful, incredible work that you have performed. And I was, listening very carefully, and 15 minutes were too less for such a mega project that you have taken up with DST, bringing down from 10 to 7 pH level, almost equal. And all the best is that a barren land has been converted to a fertile cultivable land, that too in Kanpur, where I have worked extensively in Kanpur Dehat, even in the past about 20 years back, where we used to go to Safipur in Unnao district, and all those areas. Safipur was mainly producing potato those days. I do not know today, but Kanpur was more of chilies, and very, very good varieties of chilies were being produced. And your work is incredible. Kudos, and we would like to applaud your tremendous work. Keep going, and we are proud for being a scientist in India. We are proud.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Next speaker, Abhishek ji.
The next keynote address is by Dr. Lakhan Singh. He's presently working as professor and advisor at Amity Food and Agriculture Foundation. Earlier, he worked as founder director at ICR Agriculture Technology Application Research Institute, Pune. He has served as head HRD and social science in Indian Institute of Soil and Water Conservation, Dehradun. He has also worked as Dean Agriculture at IIMT University, Meerut. He was awarded PhD degree in Agriculture Extension from IRI. He has experience of over 37 years in research, extension, and training in the discipline. He has experience of working on participatory watershed management, human resource development, empowerment, and motivational development of people. He has also served as senior scientist and principal scientist in Zonal Project Directorate, Kanpur for 14 years. He was engaged in monitoring, evaluating, and coordinating the frontline extension programs and implemented through KVKs in Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Goa. He has received several awards at national level for its outstanding contribution in the field of extension, research, and frontline extension. Sir, I welcome you again, sir.
We all welcome Dr. Lakhan Singh here, and it is proud privilege for all of us that he has joined Amity. Dr. Saab, please.
ये ऊपर नहीं है कौन सा ये फाइनल कौन सा भी दोनों एक किस पे खोलो इस विंडो में किस पे खोलना जूम पे देना ना ये Good afternoon to everybody. Honorable Chairman,
advisor to Anka Group, Dr. Nutan Kaushik ji, DG MT University, conveners, and all dear participants. Just I would like to take 15 minutes only and just talk about entrepreneurship development and agri entrepreneurs and horti entrepreneurs. My topic is successful high-tech horticulture case studies for secondary agriculture. So, इसका ये नहीं एरो का एक ये काम नहीं कर रहा है कीबोर्ड आगे बढ़ रहे सिकर
नहीं करे
अब कर रहे हो okay. I will not discuss much about this data. Actually, this our Indian agriculture has made rapid progress in terms of agriculture production in agriculture and horticulture also. And Honorable Chairman and other speakers, they have also highlighted the things as we have achieved. Tamarind.
फोन क्या कर रहे थे मेरी टॉक चल रही थी अब खत्म हुई क्या हुआ
And here I would like to discuss some of the challenges here. Climate change, everybody knows there is a drought, flood, high temperature, salinity, and new pathogens even, disease, insect, pest, all these things due to this climate change. And this growing population, declining land and water ratio, as we were also discussing in morning sessions. Food, nutritional and income security. Horticulture does not enjoy a safety net like minimum support price. It is also a challenge. And lack of good cold chain storage and transport networks. And very less or limited input for machinery and equipment. It is also a challenge. And it gets challenging for marginal farmers, small and marginal farmers with high price fluctuation. It is again a challenge for entrepreneurs also. And these are some of the challenges. But here, at last, I want to highlight one thing. Developing entrepreneurs with potential enterprises for sustainable income, regular income. That is also a major challenge that I want to highlight here. Few successful entrepreneurs cases I want to highlight here. Here, high-tech farming in grapes. It is the case from Jalna district, from Maharashtra. A young farmer that changes the economy of whole village. In village, there are around 250 to 300 farm families. They have changed their economy. They got socio-economic transformation by adopting this high-tech farming in grapes. Mr. Dattatreya Chavan is 40 years old person. He's intermediate, and I have visited thrice his farm. And he's having 20 acres of land. In this area, in this village, there are only 350 millimeter rainfall, average rainfall. That you can imagine the scarcity of water. That is the main thing. That's why I want to highlight this one. And grapes, he's harvesting around 15 tons per acre. And average net income per acre, the farmer is harvesting, earning around 4 lakh, 3 to 4 lakh rupees per acre. One farmer is earning. That you can imagine. And in whole village, per year, 60 to 80 lakh per year they are earning. But how they are earning? They have adopted high-tech farming, high-tech even sensor-based technologies. Simply, he's also a simple technologies. He has adopted moisture that's cost only ₹15. लेकिन ड्रिप टॉप करके कम से कम पानी वो यूज करेगा. He can realize how much water a plant needs. So in that way, small technology the farmer enterprise has adopted, and he's also having agro advisory services on personal way. So in that way, he's using all these technologies. I will not read all these things, but you can see 200 marginal and rural youth, they have come back to that village. That is the impact, I can say impact, output, outcome and impact. That's, I will not describe all these things. Similarly, another case, entrepreneurship development through high-tech nursery. It is the case of Nasik. Mr. Madhukar, I have visited many times his farm. I have visited. He's intermediate. He got 1 month training from KVK Nashik, and he started this high-tech nursery, and he's producing more than 55 lakh vegetable seedlings, and he's exporting across the country. And he has developed many good facilities. So in that way, he is earning a handsome amount. So that you can imagine, he is also giving opportunity as employment to more than around 300 persons, manpower he has hired. So you can imagine the factors for successful enterprises. He's very committed person. He's very vigilant. He's very calculated risk taker. So that's in that way we have to see how rural youth can be turned up into entrepreneurs. Then integrated fruit orchard model. Rajendra Todkar is a farmer entrepreneur in Pune area. I have also visited Todkar's farm. He has adopted multi-layering farming. Suppose jamun, लंबा ट्री, इसके फिर नीचे कस्टर्ड एप्पल और दूसरा कोई भी पोमग्रेनेट और shade loving plants. In that way, he has adopted multi-layering farming, and he is also having one fish pond. So in that way, from whole farm, he is earning around 12 lakh rupees in a year. So he's also exporting. So in that way, custard apple king, breeder to exporter, Mr. Kaspade, he was the president of Custard Growers Association in Maharashtra, and he is having 20 acres of custard apple and 3 acres high-tech nursery he has developed. And he is producing 7 to 8 lakh saplings, quality saplings, and he is exporting to across the country in different states. And he is earning as net profit. I am telling this as net profit around 2 crores. I was having some doubts. Then today I called him. And I also verified from head KVK Solapur, Dr. Tamre. So he was telling from whole farm he is earning around 2 crores in a year. So in that way, high-tech farming on onion seed production. Mr. Udab Khadekar is also ICR award winner. He is producing 500 kg seed per acre of onion. So in that way, he has adopted this onion seed production as business. So he has connected with the DOGR and he has adopted many technologies. Nursery management, ornament, and these are the repeated some of the cases. This is the case from Junnar, Pune. This case I want to highlight here. Organic products branding through FPOs. Mrs. Swati Singhade, she is MSc Agriculture in Soil Science from ICRAHoR. She was inspector in police. And after some times, she resigned from the job and she started this organic products business. And she has also established one FPO. And she has also established some 5 or 6 outlets in Bombay, in Pune, and other cities also. And she is having more than 50 lakh rupees turnover. It is older data because 2 years back data, but now she is having around 1 crores. And this food processing and marketing agro waste products. Again, Mr. Praveen Gangav, he is BTech. Or he was having 15 to 20 lakh rupees package in some company. Then he resigned from the job, and now he has started this on business, on food processing. And you can see he is producing more than 20 products. And he is giving more focus on branding, marketing, exporting, value addition, and he has also formed one FPO. And during he has connected that you can say India Mart, Amazon, Flipkart, Big Basket, Big Bazaars. So in that way, one entrepreneur has to connect with the market. He should be very vigilant. He should know where we have to sell the product. So in that way, he is very successful. And this India's first fig processing startup. Mr. Samir Dombe, I was visiting one village nearby Pune. Then I met him, and he has coordinated the farmers, make a group of farmers, and he on 500-acre area, fig farming is there. He is providing technology. He is also purchasing, and he has started this processing. And because his name is Samir Dombe, so Dombe wine, he has also developed this branding. He has given Pavitrik name. And he's earning around 15 lakh rupees, and he's going to expand further. This fruit processing jamun, last year I visited this farmer. He has also started exporting and processing and value addition. Again, then value addition in sorghum, because our government of India is giving more focus on millets. In ICR has started one project that is ARYA, attracting and retaining youth in agriculture. How we can retain and attract the rural youth in villages, that is a challenge. But in this area, this sorghum, they have started many products out of this sorghum, and 13 rural youth, they got training from ICR and KVKs and started as entrepreneurs. Then this income generating from this beekeeping. He is Mr. Dinkar Patel from Latur. He has started this beekeeping unit, and 2,000 boxes he is having, and around 15 to 16 lakh rupees in a year he is earning from beekeeping unit. That you can realize. I have also visited his farm, and Madhusakti honeyman, again KVK Narayanagam Pune, they have started this Madhusakti program, and they trained 500 rural women in a tribal area, and it is one of the very good successful entrepreneurship development. And factors for successful enterprise was utilizing specialized commodities for this one. And brand development, branding is very, very important. And equipped with sustainable
Dr. Saab, due to
machinery.
paucity of time,
Okay.
another 3 minutes,
Okay.
please try to.
And last, I would like to tell, because it is my concluding slide, what are the suggestive measures to develop the horticulture entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurial motivation is one of the important thing. Commitment to the goal, and vigilant. He should be very vigilant. He should be very calculative risk taker, and he should be very vigilant towards the market and quality aspect, branding, value addition, all these things. Thank you. Thank you for listening me peacefully.
Thank you, Dr. Saab. It was a great learning for all of us. Students, do you have any questions from Dr. Saab? Please raise your hands in case if you do have. Otherwise, you can always, because he is part of you, you can keep asking any query that you have in your mind. And with such a knowledgeable, vast experience, I think it will be a great honor, not only for us to be that you are associated with us, but even for the students also, that they will take the privilege of asking questions from you.
Our next speaker is Dr. Shalini, the director of SUMACO Agro Foods Private Limited. She did PhD from IIT Delhi. Prior to her doctorate, Dr. Shalini worked in ICRAHoR. Based on her academic performance, she received several fellowships and awards. She is a gold medalist both in her undergraduate and postgraduate programs. She has also served as consultant in one of the government technical centers under the aegis of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Dr. Shalini founded SUMACO Agro Foods Private Limited in the year 2022, and since then has been continuously working on her venture. She pivoted her business model in the last year and established linkages with secondary public offerings to raise capital. The venture was awarded twice by the US Consultate under Association of Women Entrepreneurs in collaboration with Startup India. The venture currently focuses on producing ready-to-eat food items that are micronutrient specific for toddlers and preschoolers. In the coming year, the venture envisages touching the online market. Dr. Shalini?
Thank you so much. I would first like to thank the organizers for inviting me to this conference, and especially Dr. Nutan Kaushik Madam for having me here. And it is an honor for me to share the same platform with eminent experts and key entrepreneurs of my area. Today, I would be sharing some insights on my journey for my startup, and also some little challenges I would be discussing, so that those who are willing to take up their own startup venture ahead can learn and gain some insights from my presentation today. Okay, so like entrepreneurship, as you say, it is a way forward to economic growth. Entrepreneurs are innovators, so if you have that zeal into you, you are an innovator, and India gives you an impetus opportunity to explore your entrepreneurship skills, and there is no dearth for opportunities. Like Sir mentioned during his keynote address, India is supporting, the government is extending support to a lot of startups, and we must, try to have an idea which can turn into action. So there are several characteristics related to horticulture entrepreneurship per se, which is as diverse as we could think of, like planning and organization, problem solving, creative, multitasking. You all get to learn all these attributes once you are building your own venture or you're working towards your own startup. The feasible opportunities in the entire landscape of horticulture sector could be in various facets, like horticulture produce processing units. It can extend to horticulture inputs manufacturing units, like horticulture service centers, miscellaneous or product development per se. Now, the Sumaco Agro Foods Private Limited, a dream venture of mine, which actually translated from a basic research I did at lab level and later on turned into an full-fledged venture. It stands for Sustainable Unique Micronutrient Augmented Key Organics. And I would be sharing the journey from ideation to action as a real-time experience. So the journey so far for Sumaco Agro Foods has been like it was during the pandemic that we bootstrapped a startup idea. I happened to have my PhD focusing on key organics. Like I did my PhD on mushroom research, and I was working with a private firm. Later on, I went to my hometown when the pandemic started. So there I could realize that there is huge potential. I belong from Jharkhand. There is huge potential to trap the natural resources and convert them into key organics. Key organics, and Jharkhand has been known to have a lot of potential in mushroom production as well as other nutraceutical crops and medicinal plants. So I bootstrapped the idea, startup idea, registered in Startup India. The very first step was to get a registration at Startup India program. And I joined the Association of Women Entrepreneurship program, which was a co-sister event organized by the Startup India. And I was a part of the Bihar and Jharkhand cohort. There, the US consulate extended its support to the promising startups, and we had certain rounds of pitches going on. There, I could crack the angel investor, and also I received close to $3,000 grant from the US consulate in the first round of my funding. Upon receiving that funding, the logistical was completed, because if you are willing to have your own startup or your venture, you have to adhere to the government guidelines and you have to have all the compliance in place, because you are going to register your company. So you need to have all the compliance in place and all the due approvals and licensing done. And apart from that, while you are exploring your funding opportunities, it is important to establish the market linkages. By market linkages, I mean that we should be able to identify the potential market opportunities for our product where we can plug in the solution. Like there are already a lot of products already existing in the market in the area of agriculture, in the area of horticulture, in the area of nutraceutical foods, superfoods. You go to any supermart, you will see n number of food items coming up. So it is very important to narrow down your research to a solution which is either available, either you are improvising the available solution, or you are coming up with a solution which is non-existing. Both ways, the startup or your idea can work. So that was a major step in my journey. And then I reported traction via retail outlets, since I belong to a small place, and the building of the entire platform or the hitting the consumer market by online means require a lot of funding and back-end marketing and digital marketing and excessive campaigning. So we reported our market traction via retail outlets. And all this journey started when I tried to identify the market. The first key organic that the company picked up was the mushrooms, because I was well versed with the science and the research involved into it. So we tried to zero down the total market capacity in India, and we tried to narrow it down to Jharkhand, the state where we had an inception for our enterprise. So we calculated the total amount of market size, because it is very important that we know what is our target market and how much scope is there for our existence. So we tried to zero down the total number of districts, then number of production units that are already existing in producing the mushrooms, because if at all you are not entering into the production quickly, you will have to procure it from the existing farmers or the existing vendors. The first phase is like targeting 5% of the total population, because you cannot cover the entire population in the first phase of your venture. Now, once you have highlighted the target site and the target population, even if you are targeting 5% of the pan-India population, you will have a customer base in lakhs. Now, what were the major challenges that any startup come across or any business model come across? That is failure to plan. If you are planning for your own startup, or if you are planning to have your own venture, you need to have a very robust plan. Like if plan A doesn't work for you, what is the plan B? Or if plan B doesn't work, how are you going to, escape the risk? Then there are knowledge and skill gaps. You have an idea, but you don't have ample amount of knowledge, and there is a skill gap. First, if you have an idea, you need to equip yourself well enough with the knowledge, the market size. You need to lies with people who are into that sector. You need to speak to experts to get their insights. It has to be research oriented action, and time and again we need to improvise on our own plan. You might have to go back to your blackboard, work on your business model, again come back, make some changes, and then again you start. Time management and productivity. Everything involves a lot of time. So we have to be very, very sure of our time management as to what milestones are we actually, targeting to achieve, and the productivity. Even if you could establish and speak to one expert related to your venture, that is your productivity. You should never scale your productivity only with the parameter of revenue generation. Even attending a conference or even meeting 10 experts, sharing your idea with them is a productivity for your venture. Then the major challenge is lack of proper team, funds, and mentorship. If you don't have a proper team with you, you don't know the funds channeling and the mentorship, then the idea is liable to fail. Now, Samaco's business model, if we take a look at how I cracked the business model for my venture, we first thought of the sources of revenue, because any business is done to generate revenue, or any business model is actually focused on revenue streams. So the first was the sources of revenue, which we could identify was the direct sales, because that was easily approachable. Then the training programs, and then the services, which comprises of consultancy and other things like direct sales. We had our vision very clearly that we would be making and hitting the market traction via the direct sales, which can be displayed at the prominent retail outlets, the local distributions, and sale of the product directly. The second one is the services, where we have lab setup consultancy, and we provide our consultancy to the existing farmers and someone who is already into product development. And third one, which we have not even explored, is the training programs. Like once we have established our venture in a full-fledged model, we would be able to host students at our base.
Dr. Shalini, due to paucity of time, we would request you to wrap up in another 3-4 minutes.
Yes, sir. I'm just about to finish. So the milestones achieved so far, I didn't see the company got registered only in 2022-23, but the process, if you see, we started way back in 2020 with problem identification, inception of the idea plus market research. 2021, we acquired the site where we are going to have our micro enterprise. Currently, we are working with the farmers at their own base, and we identified the potential raw materials and completed the registration and due approvals. All the government approvals have been taken, and we are ready to have our own manufacturing unit soon in the second half of this year. Sumaco has been recognized at various global competitions and pitches. We have been bootstrapped we have attended the boot camp under the HER startup program recently, which was organized by the GUSEC Gujarat University. We have been the first prize holders and first women entrepreneur promising startup from the entire state of Jharkhand, and we represented at US Consulate Kolkata, and we received close to $3,000 grant in our first phase. The second phase, again, we raised $2,000 grant, and in totality we have raised grants worth $5,000. We are also in process of getting 20 lakh seed grant from the government of India under the Startup India program, and we are already DPIIT recognized. So this is our journey so far. We are ready to soon hit the market through the online portal, and we hope and we are very hopeful that you guys would be, everybody in here and the world will be able to purchase our products through the online market. And hence we have not shown the product pictures here, because we are ready to launch in the second half of this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shalini. It was a wonderful journey that you have described, full of optimism, and the initial struggle also, which you have come up so successful, becoming an entrepreneur, which is a role model for many of the young students here who have listened to you with a lot of concentration and care. Wish you all the best for your endeavor.
Thank you, sir.
Our next speaker is a farmer and a horti entrepreneur who is going to speak on dragon fruit cultivation. He's from Solapur, Maharashtra. Mr. Rajendra Deshmukh ji. ऑनलाइन नहीं? Okay, meanwhile, I invite Mr. Abhishek Singh, who is going to speak on 40 entrepreneurship success stories in India and abroad. Yes, sir. जी सर, बोलिए सर।
हाँ सर, नमस्कार। मैं किसान हूँ सोलापुर से। तो कृषि विज्ञान केंद्र सोलापुर, अटारी, लाखन सिंह और आप सब डायस के लोग और जो स्टूडेंट है वो और जो किसान लाइव जुड़े हैं उनको मेरा नमस्ते। मैं हमारा जो इलाका है वो कम पानी की कम बारिश गिरने वाला इलाका है। तो शुरू से मैं मेरा नाम जो है राजेंद्र प्रताप देशमुख, मेरा ईमेल आईडी है राजेंद्र पी देशमुख, अंजनाबाग, सोलापुर रोड, बारशे है। और मेरे पास जो फसल है वो कम पानी की लागत में आने वाली फसलें है। उसमें एक नंबर जो है मेरे पास, उसमें अभी मैं 7 साल से ड्रैगन फ्रूट में काम करता हूँ, कस्टर्ड एप्पल में काम करता हूँ, खजूर में काम करता हूँ और एप्पल बेर है मेरे पास और आवाकाडो भी लगाया है। तो ये 4-5 जामुन है, स्वीट टेम्बरिन है, इतने 7-8 क्रॉप मेरे पास है। ड्रम स्टिक है मेरे पास। तो पिछले 30 साल से मैं इसमें काम करता हूँ। तो मेरा जो काम करने का जो तरीका है, तो कम पानी की लागत, कम मजदूरी और गारंटी मुनाफा मिलने के लिए ये ऐसे क्रॉप का मैं चुनाव किया। तो पानी नहीं रहते हुए, लेबर कम रहते हुए कैसे आमदनी होना चाहिए। तो मेरे पास जब से मैं काम करता हूँ 2000 साल से, तो अभी तक खेती में कुछ मिलता नहीं, ऐसा कुछ बात नहीं है। हर साल अच्छा मुनाफा मिलता है। अच्छी मेहनत लगन से मैं काम करता हूँ, इसलिए मेरे में तरक्की हो गई है सर। तो कम पानी की लागत में जो जो चीज बनती है उसमें 10-12 साल पहले मैंने खजूर लगाया है और 12 साल पहले मैं ड्रैगन फ्रूट लगाया है। तो दिक्कत में शुरुआत में मैं ट्रायल के लिए 80 पोल लगाया था मैंने। तो 80 पोल लगाने के बाद 80 पोल लगाने के बाद उसमें 4 साल उसमें अध्ययन किया मैंने। 4 साल अध्ययन करने के बाद वो उसमें कितनी लागत आती है, क्या आती है, वो देखकर अगले साल मैंने और थोड़ा थोड़ा काम करके उसमें ज्यादा से ज्यादा कैसा काम करने आएगा वैसा मैंने वो ट्राई किया। तो ड्रैगन फ्रूट में जितना बहुत अच्छा काम है, तो उसमें 6 महीने पानी देने का नहीं है, 4 साल तक वो 20 साल तक जिंदा रहती है वो गार्डन। तो कम पानी की लागत में अच्छा मुनाफा देने वाला वो क्रॉप है। तो वो क्रॉप के लिए मैंने 10-12 साल में बहुत सा काम किया है। वैसे मेरे पास अंगूर भी है, मगर उसमें ज्यादा लागत आती है, दिक्कत आती है। इसलिए मैंने पहले 80 पोल लगाया, उसके ऊपर रिसर्च करके मैंने बाद में 1.5-2 एकड़ लगाया। तो उसके बाद मैंने एक वियतनाम ट्रिप किया। तो 7-8 किसान मिलके हम अपना खुद का पैसा लेके वियतनाम गए थे। वहां जाकर देखा तो कहीं भी देखे तो ड्रैगन फ्रूट है। तो वो देखकर मैं बहुत एक्साइटेड हुआ और मुझे लगा कि अपन ये सब छोड़ के ड्रैगन फ्रूट में जाना चाहिए। तो जब से मैंने हर साल आधा हेक्टर करके मेरे पास अभी 8 हेक्टर ड्रैगन फ्रूट की खेती है। तो उसमें मेरे पास अभी 5 वैरायटी है। तो उसमें व्हाइट में 2 वैरायटी है, रेड में 3 वैरायटी है और येलो में 1 वैरायटी है। तो वियतनाम का जो काम करने का तरीका है वो बहुत भारी तरीका है उनका। वो देखने के लिए मैं वहां जाकर आया हूँ सर। तो अभी जो मुझे प्रमोट किया है, तो वो प्रमोट जो किया है मुझे ज्यादा से ज्यादा कृषि विज्ञान केंद्र से मैं प्रमोट होकर मुझे अच्छी जानकारी मिलने के लिए मैं काम करता हूँ सर। तो अभी मेरा जो उत्पादन है वो 20 से 25 3 हेक्टेयर में ड्रैगन फ्रूट का जो उत्पादन है वो 25 लाख रुपए तक होता है सर। तो सब खर्चा वगैरह जाके मुझे 20-21 लाख रुपए ये साल में मुझे बिल्कुल आमदनी हो गई है सर। तो जो अभी जो आने वाले दिनों में जो अपने को काम करना है, तो अभी महाराष्ट्र या गुजरात में देश में पूरे ड्रैगन फ्रूट की लागत भी बहुत ज्यादा हो गई है और ड्रैगन फ्रूट पब्लिक के लिए, लोगों के लिए पॉपुलर फूड बन गया है। जैसा पहले बनाना केले बिकते थे, अभी ड्रैगन फ्रूट उतना ही ज्यादा बिक रहा है। मेरी जानकारी जब तक है, मैं थोड़ा अनपढ़ किसान हूँ, अभी जो वियतनाम से अपने पास ड्रैगन फ्रूट जो आता है वो अपना माल खत्म होने के बाद ही आता है। अभी जो वियतनाम का ड्रैगन फ्रूट इंडिया मार्केट में है वो 100 रुपए किलो बिकता है सर। तो वो अध्ययन करके हमने अपना ड्रैगन फ्रूट, उसका शेल्फ लाइफ कैसा बढ़ना चाहिए, उसके लिए क्या काम करना चाहिए, यह अध्ययन के लिए भी मैं दूसरे बार और एक बार मैं वियतनाम अगस्त महीने में जाकर आया हूँ सर। मैं अभी तक इजराइल, वियतनाम और ऑस्ट्रेलिया का दौरा कर चुका हूँ और हमारे एक 10-15 किसान की जोड़ी है, वो बहुत मजबूती से काम करती है सर। तो जितनी जितनी नई नई जानकारी मेरे लिए
आपकी
चाहिए।
जानकारी से के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। हमारे समय के अभाव के कारण हम आपको, लेकिन आप ये अपने आप कभी भी मत कहना कि मैं अनपढ़ किसान हूँ। आप
सर
अनपढ़ नहीं है। आपने तोगरी का, जहाँ पूरा इलाका है अक्कलकोट, दूधनी और ये शोलापुर में, अगर आपने ड्रैगन फ्रूट और कस्टर्ड एप्पल लगा दिया तो फिर आप अनपढ़ कैसे हो गए? आप तो हमारे लिए अन्नदाता हैं और हमने को सीखना ही आपसे है। हमको तो सीखना ही आपसे है, और वो भी रेन फेड एरिया में। हाँ, मಳೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ದೇಶಮುಖ್ ಸಾಹೇಬ್ರು, ಮಳೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ शोलापुर जिला। थैंक यू वेरी मच। आपको बहुत
Thank
बहुत
you.
धन्यवाद। आप इसी तरीके से प्रोत्साहन देते रहें सभी किसानों को। और सारा एरिया जो है ये गुलबर्गा से जुड़ा हुआ, और इधर लातूर और ये सारा का सारा जो सिर्फ तोगरी का एरिया था, विच वॉज रेड ग्राम एंड खजान पिजन पी पर सिर्फ उगाते थे, आपने तो कमाल कर दिया।
ये ड्रैगन फ्रूट की बात कर रहे थे। ड्रैगन फ्रूट से मुझे याद आता है कि ये तो खैर किसान है, हमारे एक साइंटिस्ट थे, बहुत बड़े साइंटिस्ट, प्रिंसिपल साइंटिस्ट, रिटायर हुए IRI से। ड्रैगन फ्रूट की उनके बहुत पैशन था, ही हैड अ पैशन फॉर द ड्रैगन फ्रूट कल्टीवेशन एंड फ्लोरिकल्चर। Now he has started his own venture with dragon fruit, and he is saying that I'm earning much more than why I earned the whole of my life. So after retirement, he has converted into an entrepreneur. Dragon fruit he's doing on the rooftop and earning millions of rupees. So this is the success of the खेती में कहते हैं ना, फार्मिंग जो है इज अ वेरी बिग, जैसे सुबह कहा था कि जब तक हम इसको इंडस्ट्री नहीं बनाएंगे हम इसमें कुछ नहीं कर सकते। सो दिस इज अ सक्सेसफुल एग्जांपल ऑफ द इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन और द एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप इन द एग्रीकल्चर। सो वेरी गुड, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका, आपने बहुत अच्छा काम किया, बहुत अच्छा इनिशिएटिव लिया, एंड ऐसे ही काम करते रहिए और आगे किसानों को बढ़ाते रहिए।
मैडम, मैं एक रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ, वो कोल्ड लेंच की चैन जो चैन है, सेल्फ लाइफ बढ़ाने के लिए किसानों को आपकी मदद की बहुत जरूरत है सर।
हाँ
तो
जी।
हाँ, उतने उसके लिए मुझे बहुत आपकी जरूरत है। तो आपने मुझे इतना बोलने का मौका दिया,
हम बात करेंगे
लखन सिंह साहब का और
बिल्कुल
आपका।
बात करेंगे, बिल्कुल बात
सेल्फ लाइफ बढ़ाने के लिए हमको काम आपकी मदद की जरूरत है मैडम।
जी, जरूर जरूर। थैंक यू सो मच।
भगवान दत्तात्रेय स्वामी जो आपके भगवान है, आपके ऊपर सबका उनका आशीर्वाद रहे, हम तो यही दुआ करते हैं।
धन्यवाद।
तो ये पर्टिकुलरली मैं यंग जनरेशन को कहना चाहती हूँ, आप सिर्फ ये मत सोचिए कि पढ़ लिख करके हमें नौकरी करनी है। आपके पास जो जो एग्रीकल्चर आपकी नॉलेज दे रहे हैं यहाँ पर, हॉर्टिकल्चर की जो नॉलेज दे रहे हैं, इससे आप क्या कर सकते हैं आपको खुद ही नहीं पता होगा। तो यहाँ पर अगर ये कॉन्फ्रेंस है, ये प्लेटफॉर्म है, ऐसे प्लेटफॉर्म आपको मिल रहे हैं जहाँ से आप इनोवेटिव आइडियाज ले सकते हैं। और आजकल एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप आपको अपना, हमारे खुद 4 पे पुराने स्टूडेंट्स हैं, एलुमनाई हैं जो एंटरप्रेन्योर बने हैं। तो आपकी ये ताकत, इसकी मत भूलिए। और ये आपके लिए एक मैसेज है, प्लीज अगर आप सीरियसली इसको सुनेंगे तो इसमें बहुत जान है और इसमें आप बहुत आगे बढ़ सकते हैं, किसी के सहारे से नहीं, अपने आप। So that's the power of the agriculture and that's the power of the horticulture that you can do and you can feed. This is human energy. What you are working on is the human energy. We talk about the energy, but this is the biggest energy. If we don't have the human energy, we don't have the planet. Okay? We don't have the humans on the planet. Okay? Thank you so much. Thank you.
Speaker. Just 5 minutes. He's a PhD scholar from CSA University, Kanpur.
Good evening, everyone. I won't take much time. I only covered the introduction and a conclusion part of every story. So my topic is Horti entrepreneurship success stories in India and abroad. Horti entrepreneurship in India has witnessed remarkable growth driven by innovative solutions to address food security, economic empowerment, and environmental sustainability. This examines 5 inspiring success stories in India and abroad horti entrepreneurship. So the first one is Future Farms. Future Farms, founded in 2017 in Bangalore, Karnataka, has emerged as a trailblazer in hydroponic farming technology, revolutionizing agriculture through controlled environment solution. Here is an overview of Future Farms success story. They follow the hydroponic technology, controlled environment agriculture, land footprint organizations. The Future Farm success story exemplifies how innovative agriculture technologies coupled with a commitment to sustainability can redefine the landscape of modern farming. By addressing water scarcity, land constraints, and environmental impact, Future Farms stands as a leader in the quest for more efficient and sustainable food production. For the most recent developments, it's advisable to check the latest updates from Future Farms directly. The next one is ProFarm. ProFarm, founded in 2016 by Varun Khurana and Prasant Jain, is an Indian agri-tech company that has made significant strides in transforming the agricultural supply chain. The success of ProFarm can be attributed to its innovative approach to connecting farms directly with retailers through a technology-driven platform. ProFarm's success story is a testament to the transformative impact of technology on traditional agricultural practices. By creating a more efficient, transparent, and equitable supply chain, the company has not only benefited farmers and retailers, but has also played a vital role in shaping the future of agri-tech in India. The next one is Desai Fruits and Vegetables. Desai Fruits and Vegetables, founded in 2005 in Pune, Maharashtra, has scripted a remarkable success story in the realm of organic farming and agro-processing. In conclusion, Desai Fruits and Vegetables success story is a testament to its commitment to organic farming, innovation in agro-processing, community engagement, and sustainability. So these efforts, the company has not only thrived in the organic produce market, but has also set a benchmark for ethical and environmentally responsible agribusiness. The next one is Gotham Greens. Gotham Greens has been a pioneering force in urban agriculture, particularly in the field of hydroponic and rooftop farming. Here is a detailed overview of the success story of Gotham Greens. So, just going to conclusion. Gotham Green's success story exemplifies how innovation, sustainability, and a commitment to localized production can reshape the landscape of urban agriculture, providing fresh quality produce to urban communities. While minimizing environmental impact, for the most recent development, it's advisable to check the latest news and updates from Gotham Greens. The last one is Aeroforms. AeroFarms, founded in 2004 in Newark, New Jersey, has become a global leader in vertical farming, utilizing advanced aeroponic technology to revolutionizing agriculture. Here is there is a conclusion of AeroFarm's success story. It exemplifies the transformative potential of vertical farming, combining cutting-edge technology, sustainability, and a commitment to local and global food security. For the latest developments and expansions, it's recommended to check the most recent update from AeroFarm. Thank you.
Vote of thanks. Now I invite Mr. Abhishek Shukla to propose a vote of thanks.
Good evening, everybody. I would like to take this opportunity for the vote of thanks with the blessings of our founder president, sir, and guidance of Chancellor and Vice Chancellor, ma'am. I would like to thank Mr. Kamal Kumar, sir, from the Dhanuka Agri-Tech Limited. You are very own to us altogether and supportive to MIT University as well. I also would like to thank Dr. Gonzalez, who has joined from Spain. I also would like to thank Professor Naveen Kumar Arora. I would also like to thank Professor Lakhan Singh, Dr. Shalini, Deshpande ji, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, and Mr. Abhishek also. And at the end, I would like to thank all the IT supports, students, faculty, research scholars, Joint Coordinator Dr. Durgesh Tripathi, and Nutan Kaushik ma'am also. Okay. Now I would like to invite Kamal sir for the facilitation. Nutan ma'am. Sir. Nutan ma'am, please join us. Perfectly. May I also request Dr. Lakhan Singh, please come.
Good afternoon, everyone. The International Conference on Recent Advances in Horticulture Research, ICRAHoR 2024, has finally come to an end. How fulfilling and successful these 2 days were. We are so grateful for we had an opportunity to exchange knowledge and ideas with you all and meet and listen to great dignitaries who enlightened us with their words. With this, let's begin with the valedictory session. On this special occasion, I would like to call our leader, our flag bearer, Dr. Nutan Kaushik ma'am, DG AFAF, Chairperson ICRAHoR, to address the audience.
Thank you, sir. A very good evening to all of you. Every good thing has to come to an end, but I would say this is not the end. This is the beginning of our mission horticulture, as Founder President has given to us. So I would like to welcome each one of you to this valedictory session, which is the end of this second edition of the International Conference on Horticulture. I just, since the time is short, I will just like to brief you about which has been we had 2 days deliberations. We have 11 keynotes and nine invited, and 15 oral presentation and 80 poster presentations. So that's the some of the 23 were offline posters, and rest of the were the 23 were the online, and rest of the posters was online. So so Behemoth paper presentations happened during this conference, and I'm sure that the students who has presented the poster must have gained the knowledge from the discussion which has happened with the jury members, because they must have questioned them quite seriously. So with that expectation, I will not go into detail, but I just like to thank our Honorable Founder President for giving his support throughout this conference. He has been listening to this conference since the beginning. So, sir, thank you so much, sir, for blessing this conference and blessing all of us with your presence, kind presence. Though you have been constant, you have been listening this conference continuously. So thank you so much for giving so much of time to us. And right now also you have been listening, and you will be joining at any time. So, and also I would like to thank Dr. Silvamurthy, sir, for his continuous support. He has been always supportive to us. So I'm really thankful to you, sir. Wherever we require, you always provide the guidance, and you also support us. And I was thankful to Dr. Neeraj Sharma, sir, and Dr. A.K. Singh, sir, for their kind presence over here. And I'm sure that with your support of all of you and from your warriors, science, S&T warriors, we'll make this mission, horticulture mission, a great success. So I will stop here because the time is short, so I will not speak too much. So I once again welcome you to this session, and I have, please take over these proceedings. Thank you so much.
I would now like to make this moment more special and call Dr. Neeraj Sharma, Deputy Director General, Amity Foundation for Science, Technology and Innovation Alliances, to say a few words.
Thank you and good evening all. Honorable Founder President, Honorable Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, my colleague Dr. Nutan Kaushik, Dr. Silvamurthy, Dr. A.K. Singh, all these students, S&T warriors who have come here for this important international conference on recent advances in horticulture research. It's a very important and a very interesting topic. I could collect some information about this. I would like to read some of the important areas and the recent trends which are going to take shape in the horticulture domain. One is the urban gardening and green spaces. Now, these are the topics which I'm talking about, will take shape in terms of not only research, technology development, but entrepreneurship. All of you can think about starting your own ventures, startup companies on that. Indoor gardening and vertical gardening, sustainable and organic practices. And there are native plants and biodiversity we can work on. We can work on the climate resilient gardening. Then there is plant-based medicines and herbal plants. There are house plants. There are hybrids. And so there are many variety of things which can be done under the horticulture domain. Many of the entrepreneurs, many of the people are already doing research, and it's the right time and right moment for our country, especially for this particular university where you are given all this information under one roof. So with that, I would like to close because the time is very short. I'm given just 2 minutes. Thank you very much and wish you all the best for this. I think you have taken very valuable inputs from this conference. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening words. Present here with us are Honorable Dr. A.K. Singh, Senior VP, Amity Foundation for Science, Technology and Innovation Alliance. Sir, may we please have you on the dais to speak a few words?
Good evening to all of you. I think there is no end to any good thing, and this is, I'll say, not a valedictory function. This is the starting of the mission, and it should continue to happen. I think I need not to elaborate any aspect on the horticulture. You must have heard for 2-3 days, but I'll say as a non-specialist in this area that this is expanding in length and breadth. If you see its contribution in gross domestic production or in terms of earning, any dimension you see, horticulture is expanding. I think we have the students who may be the tomorrow's entrepreneurs. You have to see that not only the production or the income, but you have to see the water health, soil health, environmental health, and various horticulture new technologies, what we heard, aeroponics, hydroponics, vertical farming, roof farming, protective farming, etc. Why I'm saying this, or genetic engineering, CRISPR-Cas9, genetic engineer techniques, ultimately you have to see which technology is suitable for our context or for our conditions. We should not get bogged down by the technologies. Let's select which technology will be most suitable. This is one point which I want to drive. And I think this is the area where you learn, you earn, and you also serve. Because you learn, then you have the income and you serve the nation. Thank you very much. And I will say thanks, Madam, Dr. Nutan Kaushik and her team to give me this opportunity. And at the end, I'll also say thanks and my salute to the Honorable Founder President, who must be listening, I suppose. Thank you.
Thank you for your kind words, sir. Making this afternoon more surreal, we have with us Dr. Markanday sir, Head and Principal, Scientist Division of Floriculture and Landscaping, ICRAHoR. Dr. Markanday Singh is a head scientist and has more than 22 years of experience in floriculture, research and development. Sir, may we please allow you to speak a few words? Sir, you're not audible. So may we please have you to
Hello.
address the
Hello.
audience in minutes?
I am audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible now. So may we please have you to address the audience for 10 minutes?
Okay. Good. Very good afternoon to all of you. First of all, I would like to thanks to Dr. Nutan Kaushik ma'am for giving the opportunity to me as a keynote speaker of valedictory session of 2 days international conference on recent advances in horticulture research 2024. So I am going to present about the horticulture and production of the flower crops. We know horticulture sector is a second largest producer of the horticulture crops, and its contribution about the 30% of the total agri GDP, while using the only 13% of the area of the grass cropped area. And in the horticulture sector, major area covered by the fruit and vegetable, and it is a constitutively 90% share in the horticulture sector. And we know horticulture production is surpassed in 2022-23 In case of food grains, the production was 329 million ton, and in case of horticulture, the production was 352 million ton, with the ranking of the second in the international production. And in flower power, floriculture areas covered around 3,22,000 hectare, and this is a strongly domestic trade is around 22,000 crores, and in USD around 2.8 million, and around 65% young peoples are involved in the floriculture industry, and it is already cultivated in the almost every state of the country. And in the export trade, our export trade value is around 500 crore, and out of this around 71% of the dry flower, major share, and second largest share of the fresh flower, live plant, fresh bulbous and foliage are also exporting from the India. And in case of horticulture, total export is around 13,185 crore. Out of these, the major share of the fruit and vegetable from the India. Despite of being second largest producer, India's share is a global in export is a less than 2%. If you are talking about the bulbous crop is a very important group of the flower crop, and it is already cultivated in the hilly area as well as in the plain area. And recently, one crop is introduced, Alstomeria, in 2001 as a commercial flower crops. And this crop is going to very popular in the hilly area. Region-wise, this is a typically temperate flower crops. And in our country, near about 9 very good quality of the varieties of the Alstomeria, and it is already commercially cultivated in the Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Nilgiri, and Northeast. Another bulbous group, tuberose. Tuberose is also commercially cultivated by the farmers in the plain as well as in the low hill area. This is utilized as a loose flower, as a cut flowers in our domestic market, and this is also very popular bulbous flower groups for the cut flower as well as for the loose flower production. Another is Agapanthus. In case of the flower, blue color is a very rare flower. Agapanthus is a bulbous group, and it is also paying the very good value in the domestic market as a cut flower, as a ornamental potted plants. And we know Calla lily, Gentadaceae, is also very important crop, bulbous group crops, and cultivated under the protected conditions, and farmers are gaining the very good value for the as a cut flowers. And another is a saffron. Saffron is also producing in the ornamental, but major share of the saffron in the spice, and in J&K Pampur area is very popular for the cultivation of saffron as a spice. But in the European country, it is also planted as a bedding plant in the roadside or in the beds in the lawn. And tulip is also very important cut flowers and ornamental potted plant and bedding plant. And in the last few years, it is also very popularly known in the tulip garden, in the largest tulip garden established in the Srinagar. And now one tulip garden is also becoming in the IHBT Palampur in the Himachal Pradesh. And in last year, during G20 times in the Delhi, NDMC is also imported a large quantity of tulip and planted in the Delhi round circles for the beautification. And another crop is a hyacinth. Hyacinth in the domestic market, the flowers of hyacinth importing and selling the flowers more than 200 rupees of the per spike. And this is also very good future crops. But now need is the production of the quality planting material of all these bulbous crops. And another crop is a iris. Iris is also belonging to bulbous, and this is also in the blue color. And this is very popular in the garden for the landscaping purpose. And gladiolus is we can say this is a queen of the bulbous flower crop, and it is also cultivated in the plain and the hilly area in the large scale by the farmers, and farmers are getting the very good value by the cultivation of gladiolus. And one thing is in the scientific way, we can produce the round the year bulbous flowers in our country. Region wise, the diversified climatic condition in our country from the hill to high altitude. And this is a region all flowers the available in the domestic market every time. So now need is a further standardize the forcing mechanism and produce the quality planting material for the supply to our growers. And lilium is a very important cut flower crops. It is classified in the 4 major groups. One is a Asiatic and LA hybrid lily, Oriental hybrid lily, and longiflorum. This is also produced by the farmers in the hilly area as well as in the plain area, and this is mostly utilized in the landscaping purpose for the making of the bouquet and arrangement of the flowers in the during the event time. And I want to share our experience in the lilium cultivation in the Himachal Pradesh. The Himachal Pradesh is a #1 in the cultivation of lilium during the off season. And you can see in this picture, high altitude, mid hill and low hill. This is a picture of the Delhi. This is a Palampur and this is a Rampur Valley. And this crop is a also high value cut flower crop. But this crop is a growing only under the protected conditions like shade net and polyhouse conditions. And now need in the develop the technology for the heating system and cooling system both for the round the year production of the flowers of lilium in case of typical temperate climate conditions and plain conditions during the winter season and during the summer season in the high altitude area. And another, you can see this is a picture of the intercropping of lilium in high altitude in the Lahaul Spiti under the apple orchard. When the apple orchard is too young, in between we can utilize the area for the commercial cultivation of the bulbous crop like Oriental hybrid lily or Asiatic hybrid lily. Farmers are getting the very good remuneration by the intercropping of the lilium in the new orchard in the Lahaul Spiti. And another, this is also old orchard of the apples in the Himachal Pradesh, Udaipur. The farmers are also growing the lilium cultivation in between the orchard. And this is a demonstration plots of the lilium behind the Rohtang Pass nearby the Koksar area in the Lahaul Spiti. Farmers are producing successfully lilium cultivation. And in the earlier, we are producing the lilium in the soil beds. Now farmers are growing the lilium in the coco pit also with the high density in the protected cultivation during the winter season. And in the coco pit, the result is better as compared to the our soil media, because in the coco pit is 100% sterilized, no chances of the soil-borne disease contamination in the planting material, because this crop and tulip is also very sensitive to soil-borne disease like Fusarium, Pythium, and Rhizoctonia. In the selection of the planting material, very important in case of Oriental and Asiatic hybrid lily. This is a expensive planting material, mostly utilized in the imported planting material. So at the time of selection of the planting material, the variety and the size of planting material are also going to play very important role to remunerate the value of the flower in the domestic market. And you can see this is actually sometimes the planted in the open field condition. When the chance of the snowfall, then we can go for the plantation in the open field condition in the high altitude area. And density is also very important factor, because it is going to grow in the high costly infrastructure like polyhouse. So high density plantation is a recommendation around in 1 acre area, 4,000 acre area. In case of Asiatic hybrid lily, recommended 80 to 1 lakhs bulbs in the 1 acre area. But in case of Oriental hybrid lily, 65 to 70,000 numbers of the bulbs recommended in the protected condition.
Sir, may I request you to wind up in a few minutes, because
2 minutes. Yes, yes.
Yes.
I am going to show the one success story of the
हाँ,
Lilium
वो
in
दिखा
the
दीजिए, हाँ, वो दिखा दीजिए, sir.
yeah, Lahaul
Motivate
Spiti.
yes.
Yes, Lahaul Spiti is a earlier known for the off-season cultivation of potato and pea. By the intervention of the Institute of Himalayan Bioresource Technology, Palampur, because in 2008 I was posted in the ISBT, and we started the search the area for the demonstrate the our technology of the Lilium in for production of the quality flower in the off season. And we visited in the month of June, and that time the all area covered with the potato and pea. And then we demonstrated the Lilium cultivation in the Lahaul Spiti village Kinang on the plots of Mr. Dhoni Chand. And that time the income by the cultivation of potato and pea around 5,000 rupees in 1 bigha land. But 1 bigha means 1,000 square meter area. But we demonstrated the our 1,000 bulb in 100 square meter area, and they generated the value around 27,500 in 2008. This value was more than 10 times the income from the traditional crop, the cultivation of potato and pea. And after the successful of the demonstration, we organized the number of training programs for the peoples of the Lahaul Spiti in off campus and on campus. And after the providing the planting material, training program, and now the valley is known for the cultivation of the off-season Lilium for the cut flower as well as for the planting material, because the natural climatic condition of the Lahaul Spiti is very suitable for the cultivation of the Lilium. And after the snowfall, no need of the forcing mechanism for the Lilium bulbs. So no need storage the planting material under the cold storage. The natural forcing mechanism is completed in the field condition after senescence of the leaves. And in the present and the future, what are the challenges? Reducing the post-harvest losses, because in case of horticulture, 20 to 30% losses. And now need is a production of the quality seed and planting material, selective import of the elite planting material, good agriculture practices, and organic farming, especially in case of horticulture for fruit and vegetable crops, effective quantifying of processing and value addition, coping with the climate change, and mechanization for the increasing the efficiency. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. For successful story in the floriculture, sir. Thank you so much for sharing this one. Yeah, please carry on.
Thank you.
Present with us here are Dr. Selvamurthy Sir, President ASTIF and Director General for ADSI. Dr. Selvamurthy Sir has served DRDO for 40 years and now is a part of the Amity Army.
So students, I am aware that you have to catch your buses, cabs. I want one of the students who have attended most of the session. How many of you have attended most of the sessions? Just raise your hands. Okay, very good. Now I want one male student and one female student to come and tell for 1 minute what exactly you learned from this 2 days deliberation. So I would take one of the girl students from here and one of the boys who raised their hands. Please come. And any girl students, I think you raised. Come. Introduce yourself. Come over here. You have to tell us what all you learned, and then how is it going to transform you? What is that you want to do now, being a student, when you grow big? And something must have been seeded in your thought. What is that?
Good afternoon. I'm Arjun. I'm first year MBA Agriculture and Food Business Management student. And first of all, I have to thank the coordinates for arranging such a wonderful program here. And it is so informational about the things that are going on in a current scenario. So I actually want to be an agripreneur. So for me, it was so informative. And the persons that I have met here is actually so inspiring, and talks are also inspiring for me. For it gives me a very good confidence that I can be a successful in this particular sector. So thank you all for conducting such a great event.
One thing which you learned from the deliberation, this is generic. Any of these paper, any idea that struck you, if anything comes to your head.
Anything that some of the post-harvest management techniques that are actually interesting, that are use of edible covering materials that can be used for processing. That is actually such a needed thing nowadays. So it was for helpful for my improving my knowledge. Thank you.
Excellent. Let's give a big clap to what's your name? Arjun. You will be a wonderful leader. My blessings to you in your field. Now, please introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, sir. I am Sneha from AIHSR department, like horticulture in post-harvest technology. And through this program, I learned that we can't be like job seekers. Other than that, we can be interested in farming and take inspiration from different entrepreneurs like sir, and like we can start various farming by our own and earn more money, and uh, increase the production in our state. Like I'm from Bihar, so I can do there my own work rather than seeking for companies to jobs. Thank you.
Let's give a big clap to Sneha. You know, we want women entrepreneurs. You will become a great entrepreneur. God bless you. God bless you. See, this is the purpose of such kind of workshops or conferences or meetings, that you people, it is for you. It is not, you know, people in the dawn, you are the dawn and we are as the dusk of our life. So you people are going to be the future. That's when it is not for filling up the hall you are here. We want you to give the opportunity to learn, assimilate, make a dream, generate a dream, what your life is going to be, what is the area in which you are going to do specialization. Because your responsibility is not 1.4 billion people, 7 billion people is your responsibility. So isn't it necessary that you should prepare yourself? That is why we give you this opportunity to come and attend conferences, meetings. So please ensure that when you attend this, also ruminate this thought when you go back to the hostels or home, that you should see what I learned, how do I become? This is how you will become a, like founder president Dr. Ashok Chauhan, or you find here the experts like Markandeya Singh Saab, who is here now, who just gave the lecture, just gave a plenary talk now. So all this is possible only when you do that. Everybody will get a job, everybody will make a family and then leave the world after some time. But some people leave a mark. But we want all Amitians like you and all the participants here who are attending online to make a mark in life, because life is precious. So let us spend it usefully. I'm so happy my brilliant students, our brilliant students were so attentive and they shared their dreams with us. Now I must appreciate the whole Amity Food and Agricultural Foundation, led by Dr. Nutan Kaushik, the Director General, and also the whole team of faculties under this directorate who have done a wonderful job. The people whom you have invited for these lectures, all the participant speakers, they're all chosen. They are experts in their own disciplines. Every one of them is an achiever from the government, universities, academia, industry. So you have brought a cross section of the people. So having brought them, that, you know, we should not lose this opportunity. That is why founder president, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, has announced Amity Horticulture Mission. Amity Horticulture Mission. Let's clap. Yes, let's give us a big clap. So this Amity Horticulture Mission is just not only a title, but it is going to serve the nation, contribute to Viksit Bharat at 2047 when we meet at that time. This mission, horticulture mission, would have augmented the India's position in terms of production, productivity, and also at the global level, reaching the top position, the leadership position, be it in vegetables, fruits, floriculture, or it is mushroom cultivation, or spices cultivation, or even honey, which comes under this. I'm told that ICAR has put this also, even honey, bees, and their coming, floriculture is another area. So my suggestion is 2-3 areas where in terms of horticulture, we must focus and research. The first part should be protected cultivation. In my opinion, that we have not really realized, even though our Dr. Markandeya Singh showed some of those polyhouses, greenhouses, which he presented. So there is a tremendous opportunity for greenhouse, polyhouse, glass house, trench house in high altitude, trenches, trench house. So you can have a lot of protected cultivation. So here is an area where if you want to have a startup, entrepreneurship, there is an opportunity to propagate, promote, and also the horizontal growth of the protected cultivation. The second is precision agriculture. Water is becoming a rare commodity now for irrigation purposes, and the rainfall is sometimes it is erratic. We don't have the rainfall, proper rainfall. So you need to look at how do you conserve the water available. So can we have the moisture sensors and apply them, because you have already technologies, but how do you adapt it to small marginal farmers who are almost about 85 to 90% small and marginal farmers? So how do you bring frugal innovations to these farmers who can afford, access, and apply this in our cultivation?